In the summer of 1937, Earhart and her friend Fred Noonan flew in their plane named Lockheed Electra 10E from Lae Airfield in Papua New Guinea to Howland Island, a small island between Australia and Hawaii. Based on what we know, they didn't reach Howland Island, and people have been searching for them ever since. The Coast Guard and Navy from the United States were sent to look for Earhart and her navigator. At the same time, Earhart's husband, George Putnam, paid for private ships to look for his wife who was lost. Unfortunately, no one was able to find Alas, Earhart, Noonan, and the plane's wreckage, even after searching for weeks. People have been trying to figure out what happened when something went missing in the Marshall Islands. They have been looking for any clues or evidence that could explain what actually happened. Even with all the time that has passed, many people continue to study the disappearance of the aircraft and its crew, trying to answer one question: what happened to Amelia Earhart? Like all mysteries, plenty of theories have sprung up about what might have occurred on that fateful summer's day. Let's discuss some of the main theories discussed over the years. The U.S. government said that Earhart's plane ran out of fuel and crashed in the Pacific Ocean. Before Earhart's fateful journey, the United States sent a Coast Guard ship called Itasca to Howland Island to help Earhart in her goal to fly around the world. The ship was there to provide air navigation and a radio link to help guide the plane to the remote island. For some unknown reason, Earhart and Itasca had trouble talking on the radio, which is still part of the mystery. Don't forget, in 1937, we didn't have radar. When Earhart and Noonan failed to arrive, people thought they might have gotten lost and crashed into the ocean because they ran out of fuel. Roughly 20 years ago, a company in Maryland that studies the ocean, Nauticos, tried to find Earhart's aeroplane near Howland Island, where they thought it might have crashed. Before the mission, Nauticos president David Jordan told National Geographic,
"I'm searching for Amelia Earhart's Electra.
We are sure that it's in the area we are searching. Of course, we cannot guarantee it because it could be on the outside edge, but we believe we are close to them." Even though they looked over 630 square miles, nothing was found. Earhart Stepson, George Palmer Putnam, also thought this theory was true. He said, "The plane just ran out of fuel." Earhart's great-nephew and his mother also believed this simple theory without any proof. Another theory was that Earhart and Noonan couldn't find Howland Island, so they landed their plane on Nikumaroro Island, which is a small coral island 648 kilometers southwest of where they were supposed to land. Earhart told the Itasca that they were flying along line 157 to 337. If this is true, then if Earhart had missed Howland, they could have reached Nikumaroro. Proof showed that the pilots landed on Nikumaroro and got stuck there. In 1938, some people went to the island of Nikumaroro as part of the Phoenix Island settlement scheme. They found some things that they thought might be from the plane that had gone missing. In 1940, island administrator Gerald Gallagher found old bones, some parts of shoes, and a box that used to have a tool for navigation on an island. The bones were sent to Fiji to be examined and were believed to belong to a European male. The third theory is that Earhart and Noonan couldn't find Howland Island, so they flew to the Japanese-controlled Marshall Islands. It's believed that the Japanese thought the people were American spies and then killed them. Another view suggests that the pair was not captured, but rather that the Japanese shot down their plane. In a 2017 History Channel documentary, it was said that the National Archives of Jaluit Atoll in the Marshall Islands might have a picture of Earhart and Noonan who were captured. The picture showed a white man who looked like Noonan alongside a woman with a hairstyle and physique similar to Amelia, but facing away from the camera. The photo was proven not to be true, and Japanese authorities told NBC News that they don't have any evidence of Earhart being captured. Some people think that Earhart and Noonan came back to the United States using different names. In the book, Amelia Earhart survived. Author Roland Reineck, a retired colonel from the U.S. Air Force, discusses the theory that Amelia Earhart may have survived her disappearance. Reineck thinks that Earhart landed the plane in the Marshall Islands and came back to the USA using a different name for national security reasons. He believes that when the United States went to the Marshall Islands in search of Earhart, they were secretly looking at the area to gather information about the Japanese before the war.